This evening. The purpose of tonight's meeting is for the residents of Henley-in-Arden to discuss the proposed plans for the market site, which were exhibited by Taylor Wimpey in the Baptist Church Hall on Friday the 9th of July 2010, and to consider if any further action is necessary. Taylor Wimpey were invited to speak at this meeting, but they declined.
Mike Brewer, your local county councillor. I just wanted to make a little statement here that this gentleman is the chairman, but I don't know from Henley, I've only been a short while. So I just think it's incumbent before we go ahead with this meeting that all you people are happy, because I think you should have someone chairing this meeting who knows the town, has represented you, knows all the planning loopholes, and has done a lot for the town. So I really feel, before we move on, I don't know if there's anyone in the audience who want to support that, but I really feel you need someone to, it's a delicate matter. I think you should put the capable down to someone who's living there, who knows the town, and knows the topics.
Well, address the meeting, we've got an opportunity. The reason that Mike has been chosen is for the very reason that he is actually quite new to the town. He's therefore completely new. He's well read on the planning matters. He's read the town plan backwards and digested it. He's read Office of Comparative Review. Beyond that, he's actually a very experienced businessman. He's very used to chairing big meetings, which is important for this meeting. And I propose that we do actually adopt Mike Brewer as chair.
Councillor Perry, could I argue the toss on that point particularly, because I'm not quite sure who the gentleman is up there, but I do honestly believe, as you do, that we require a gentleman who knows this area, who knows the parish completely, and who's given an immense service to the area over the years. And I would like to propose Councillor George Atkinson to chair this inside and out, and I'm prepared to propose him, please.
Can we have a vote then on who would like Mr. Atkinson to chair this meeting?
Who are you voting for?
You're voting for Mr. Atkinson to chair this meeting in my place. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 hands. Those against, please raise your hands now. I see a lot more. Motion denied. Yes, could I have the name of the gentleman who proposed the motion? May I now call upon Steve Aston, who lives on the Warwick Road, to make the first submission.
Mr. Chairman, Steve has been literally is stuck on a train on the way out from London. He asked if I might read his words with the permission of the meeting, obviously. He's tried to get a resident from the group of 7 cottages who are represented by Steve, and there was no one available. I wonder if the meeting would be generous.
Is the meeting happy for this?
Okay. This is on behalf of the residents of Warwick Road, the cottages that lead down on the right-hand side from the traffic lights. Mr. Aston would like to thank the chairman for the opportunity of making this presentation. Along with my neighbours and many other residents to whom I have spoken, we all feel that the proposed market development is a disaster waiting to happen. The residents of the cottages in Warwick Road have always had issues with parking, and were promised that any new development would include parking for the 7 cottages. Traditionally, over many years, they were able to park both at the Golden Cross and at the market. The Golden Cross parking, of course, disappeared for them, and now the market parking is going to do the same. They wanted at this point to express their thanks to Councillor Atkinson, who worked very hard on their behalf to resolve the issues that arose on parking for them when the parking was decriminalised and the Stratford District Council took a different attitude towards parking outside their houses. There will also be additional congestion, which we've already heard. Parking and disruption outside the proposed convenience store will add to this. All the other things he said have already been said to you. Just the one thing he mentions, he believes that building on the site on the present design may lead to an increased risk of flooding of that area, and of course those houses are affected by that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Now may I introduce Mr. John Stott, Chairman of the Bow Desert and Henley Society.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, everyone. As a previous speaker has said, I'm not very good at remembering things, so I'm going to read what I've got to say. As well as providing interesting talks and other events, one of the aims of the Henley-in-Arden Society is to safeguard the character of the town and the surrounding area. So it's natural that we take an interest in a major proposal, such as the development of the market site. Indeed, we've already done so in 2007, when the previous very high density proposal was put forward. Our general position is that whilst it is a shame to lose the market, we can do nothing about that. As far as we can see, the site is going to be developed, and this being the case, we support reasonable development of the site. What we would not support is any development that damages Henley-in-Arden and or introduces additional safety risks, for example from traffic movements and flooding. With this in mind, the committee made it its business to view the plans provided by the developers in July. Following this, comments were compiled and a statement representing the unanimous view of the committee was put together and sent to the developers. So our comments on the proposal were broadly this. It can really be summarised in 2 points. Firstly, too many houses, and secondly, the undesirability of a fairly large retail unit that represents a threat to the viability of the town centre and a source of avoidable congestion and risk to the pupils of the school. So let's just talk a little bit about the retail unit. We realise that the retail unit will be convenient for residents at the southern end of the town, but we have to look at the wider picture and see the possibility of the shops in the town centre closing down as a result of loss of trade. This would damage the town centre, so we are opposed to the large retail unit. We are opposed to the position of the retail unit beside the Warwick Road because it will cause congestion through people parking on the Warwick Road, whether or not parking restrictions apply. We also see a risk of increased accidents to pupils from the school because it would tend to draw more of them out of the school. Generally, we do not see a need for the retail unit, but if retail is to be included in the development, it should be smaller than proposed and embedded within the development rather than on the Warwick Road. Traffic. The proposers say that their plan to have 48 dwellings will lead to an 8 to 10% increase in traffic. Because of the already existing congestion, we consider this unacceptable. A much smaller number of dwellings would obviously lead to a much smaller increase in traffic, which would probably be tolerable. Parking. Regarding parking within the development, our view was that there was insufficient for the 48 dwellings, and that the proposal did nothing to alleviate existing parking issues for properties at the southern end of the High Street and Warwick Road. Regarding the style of the proposed development, we felt that the inclusion of 3-storey dwellings was out of keeping with adjacent properties. Now to the solution. Notice that the last 3 issues, namely the unacceptable increase in traffic, insufficient parking and the inclusion of 3-storey dwellings, all arise from putting too many houses on the site. We are back to the primary problem with the proposal, i.e. too many houses. The the Stratford-on-Avon local plan 1996 to 2011 calls for 20 to 25 houses. The Beaudesert and Henley Housing Needs Survey 2006 calls for 19 houses. All pressure should be put on the developers to stick to these clearly defined and documented requirements. If the developer's formal planning application has more than 25 houses, we urge all of you to object formally and remind the planners of what is written down in black and white. Thank you.